It's 10 o'clock, and this is Fox 10 Talks. There are several major developments in one of the most high-profile murder cases in our country in a very long time. It's the Luigi Mangione case, and we learned just within the last couple of hours that a federal judge took the death penalty off the table in the case of the killing of the United Healthcare CEO. And at the same time, we're also learning there was a plot to try to spring Mangione from prison. Wait till you hear about that one coming up. Good morning, everybody. I'm Ron Hoon. At 10 a.m., we roll out 2 hours of information and conversation, and we especially love getting the chance to get your feedback on all the big stories of the day. There's a little philosophy saying, hola, Dave and Ron and Syleste. And by the way, we got a treat. Bella is going to be joining us, Isabella, in just the next minute or two. So thanks, everybody, for jumping on and saying hello. We love our Fox 10 Talks family on YouTube. Let me roll out the poll question for you right now. Don Lemon got arrested this morning after that Minnesota church protest. What are your thoughts about this? 69% are saying good, he's not above the law. 30% say bad, purely a political prosecution. 1% has that third option on their minds with no real opinion on Don Lemon, but don't protest inside a church. So we would love to get your input on that. We have, by the way, one of the sharpest legal minds you're ever going to find here in the state of Arizona, Josh Kolsrud, in 15 minutes on where things stand now with the case against Luigi Mangione. And what about this arrest of a very high-profile former CNN personality, Don Lemon, after that church protest? What exactly is going on in that case? But let me update you right now because there are several new developments here, and we bring Isabella in. Good morning, Bella.
Good
Let me
morning.
get your mic opened here.
Good morning.
You've been looking into really all the developments here in this case.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're all familiar with Luigi Mangione.
Sure.
I mean, worldwide attention. But just in the last 48 hours, there has been multiple developments. As you mentioned, the latest, just a few hours ago, there was a U.S. district judge. That's going to be Judge Margaret Garnett. They have officially taken the death penalty off the table for Mangione's federal case.
That was a stunner when it came out.
It was.
Yes.
So I did some digging about the technicalities of all of this, and the judge dismissed the charge of murder through use of a firearm under federal law. So this specific charge requires the murder to occur during a crime of violence.
Oh, by the way, we're showing the actual image from the camera on the street right there as you're talking about it, as he allegedly, we need to say until there's a court case, took aim at that CEO. But go ahead.
Yes, I'm looking at the comments. RLS Vid says, what did he do? Luigi is being charged for allegedly shooting and killing the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. But the loophole that prosecutors are arguing is that stalking was his underlying crime of violence. However, the judge ruled that because stalking can legally be committed through nonviolent means, such as digital harassment, it does not meet the strict federal definition required to trigger a capital murder charge. So that's the latest as of a few hours ago. And of course, there was another development just 48 hours ago, the pizza cutter breakout attempt. So Wednesday night, there was a bizarre attempt to free Mangione from the Metropolitan Detention Center, the MDC in Brooklyn. The suspect, Mark Anderson, is a 36-year-old from Minnesota who had been working at a Bronx pizzeria. He was arrested at the prison's intake area. So what had happened is Anderson allegedly posed as an FBI agent, claiming he had a court order signed by a judge to release Mangione immediately.
Boy, talk about brazen.
Yeah, the pizza cutter breakout is what they're calling it. The weapons used, the guards were suspicious because they searched his backpack and they found get this, Ron, a barbecue fork and a circular steel blade. A pizza cutter. And this guy worked at a pizzeria in Brooklyn.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're still trying to piece together if he really thought he could pull this off. But I guess if he thought his fake ID was going to work, he might have been able to get in and at least see him. But I don't know how you could, unless Mangione, do we know if he was involved or any connection with this guy?
So here's the thing. Right now, Anderson is being held without bail at the same facility as Mangione.
Wow.
He's being charged with federal impersonation. But right now, investigators are looking into whether he had an actual contact with Mangione, if they even knew each other, or if he was acting as a lone wolf supporter, because we do know this case has gotten worldwide attention.
Yeah.
So we're still figuring that out right now.
Okay. Now, the one other thing I want to point out, I've been looking into it. Some people might be outraged if they followed this case and they've made up their mind on his guilt or innocence. But there is still the state court case.
Yes.
That is a murder one, and it is still active.
Yes. So some key dates you want to be aware of. The state case that is proposed to start July 1st, and the potential outcome could be 25 years to life in prison. Okay. And then, of course, there is the federal case. That is proposed to start for jury selection September 8th.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Bella, really good digging into that whole story. A lot of developments. I'm sure we're going to find out more about this plot and whether Mangione himself had anything to do with it. But boy, that is a strange one indeed. Isabella?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we're going to go straight on to this other story here because talk about a couple of major developments this morning. One of the most, up until couple of years ago, one of the most high-profile personalities on CNN, Don Lemon. Now, you know the backstory, I'm sure. There was a protest inside a church up in the Twin Cities because they were upset about federal immigration enforcement. And Don Lemon not only reportedly was in there, but was live streaming the whole event before everybody went into the church. And then there was all this video that was released from inside the church. You got a worship service going on and an attempt to basically try to interrupt it. So I've kind of just been looking into it to try to figure out. The bottom line is there are multiple. You can peacefully protest on public property, but if you interrupt a church service, you are going to be subject to either a disorderly conduct charge if you're purposely in there trying to interrupt it, or trespassing charges. And it is almost always an arrestable offense if you are refusing to leave private property. And we well know that there have been some horrific attacks on houses of worship over the course of the last several years. So the whole thing going on now with Don Lemon basically has people talking this morning about about what happened there in the Twin Cities. The Deputy AG, Todd Blanche, held a news conference today to talk about the Epstein files. They're releasing a bunch more. But he was also asked about this case, and he didn't have much to say.
Do you have a reaction to the arrest of Don Lemon overnight?
Do you have a reaction to what?
To Don Lemon's arrest overnight?
Do I have a reaction to it? I don't know what that means. What are you looking for me to do? Jump up and down? No, I don't have a reaction to it. I don't know that the charges are unsealed yet. So no, I can't. I'm not going to comment on that.
Yeah, so we were expecting, believe it or not, to get a little more from the DOJ than that. I mean, it's one of the most high-profile arrests in a very long time, and that's all we got. What do you expect? I'm going to be jumping up and down. He doesn't have any comment on it, but he is the Deputy Attorney General. Who knows? We may hear something about it from Pam Bondi. I mean, she already posted about it this morning, Syleste, saying that the operation had happened and that Don Lemon had been arrested. And there were other kind of angles to that case with another arrest as well.
Some people are asking, why was he the only one arrested? Or were there other arrests made that we just have not been made aware of?
Yeah. Well, there was a second one. We're just learning about that. And it was an activist who was also said to be directly involved in that protest. Yeah. So we're trying to get additional details. But let's do this. Let's roll the poll question because they keep moving these numbers. They keep moving around, and in about a minute. By the way, on YouTube, all of you loyal commentators, if you have an opinion about this Don Lemon being arrested after interrupting that church service in Minnesota, we would love to hear from you right now. But here's what we're seeing so far in the QR code. 71% say, you know what, it's good. He's not above the law. There are several ways that you can have criminal charges if you go in on private property and purposely interrupt a religious service. 28% say it's bad. To me, it looks like purely political. 1% say, I don't really have an opinion on this guy, but don't protest inside a church.
All right. This one on YouTube posted about 40 minutes ago or so. I just refreshed. We have 621 votes. 51% of the people voting say good, he's not above the law. 43% say bad, purely a political prosecution. And only 6% say no opinion on Don Lemon, but don't protest inside of a church. If you're watching on television, you can actually join us on YouTube as well. Yes. And click on the link. We have a link at the very top of our chat box. You can click on that and vote on YouTube as well.
And I do think it's really interesting because here's Scottsdale Coyote who says Lemon should do a little time and have to pay reparations to the church. Also, RLS Vid saying, I protest the protesting of protesting protesters.
who protest to protest.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go to Dave, see what he's finding out on YouTube or on the QR code. Dave.
That's right. Yeah, these are some great comments. Not only can you vote on fox10phoenix.com/poll, but you can also chime in on our YouTube poll question. My lowest 62 says he was acting in his capacity as a journalist. He shouldn't have been arrested. Gal and Huss 56 says his First Amendment right as a journalist does not supersede those people's First Amendment right to freedom of religion, which those agitators, including Lemon, interfered their service. And finally, TSK and Waddell says consequences finally for anyone who breaks the rules and boundaries. We have boundaries and rules, break them, and there are consequences. Great comments. We love hearing from you guys. Keep them up.
All right. So what we did is we reached out to Josh Kolsrud. Truly a brilliant legal mind.
Yeah.
He got back to us ASAP.
He's our legal eagle.
He is up to speed on this Don Lemon case.
Yes.
And he is also up to speed on the other big one, Luigi Mangione.
Yes.
And if we have time, we can talk about this social media trial that's captured the nation's attention.
I mean, when you have extra time, Ron, you watch football. Yes. I might read or hang or cook in the kitchen with my kids.
Yep.
Josh reads these files. Yeah. That's what he does in his spare time on his Sunday afternoon. This is your Mystery Cam, friends.
We'll be right back. Give us your guesses, YouTube. Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's Ron and Celeste. This is Fox 10 Talks. We do a mystery cam, totally interactive with you guys on YouTube, giving you a chance to jump right in.
Yeah.
Give us your guesses. Celeste, I'm flummoxed. I do not pull out that word too often. And
What does
every
it mean?
time I
What
do,
does
it
that mean?
cracks Dave up. I'm like, it's just a normal word, flummoxed.
What does it mean?
Oh, Dave says it's a good word. It just means I'm a little discombobulated.
Bewildered or perplexed?
I am bewildered because I feel like this is a big enough city. I should know what it is. I saw that building in the middle, and it made me wonder if it might be like a Nashville. But I feel like there are more hills around Nashville. I'm still going to go Tennessee, but what are you going to go, Celeste?
Wow, look at all the orange there. I think you might be onto something.
Okay.
I'm going to go with a lot of people in the chat who said Oklahoma. Paul Humphrey said Oklahoma. We've got a Portland from Lisa Dinsmore.
You know, the beauty of this program is the rules are you have to get the state right. So you don't even have to say if that's Tulsa or Oklahoma City.
Yeah, it's just the state. I mean, we've got a couple of Texases from Burger Boy and Linda Monterth. So I think we have that whole region of the country covered.
Good. Okay.
Are you ready for the answer? Where's the answer?
You know, I like these guys shouting out Houston, Texas. I could. It's a little flatter. Anyway, go ahead. So you're going.
I'm going to go with Oklahoma.
All right, and I am going with Tennessee, and here comes your answer,
Okay,
everybody.
here is the mystery camera answer for you today.
Okay.
Tampa, Florida.
Oh, for goodness sake!
What is happening?
Okay, we were all flummoxed.
Tampa, they're looking more like Tennessee these days, huh?
I guess that's the Gulf just off on the other side. That's interesting. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, there you go. The answer is Tampa. We are so jazzed to bring Josh Kolsrud to the microphone now. You know, when these big cases break,
yes,
like they have today,
yes,
2 big cases, Josh is right on it, man. He knows what's going on.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Josh, it's good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Okay, so were you surprised to see this development in the Luigi Mangione case today?
Well, it's a very interesting situation. So for those who haven't heard yet, the district court judge dismissed the death penalty allegations on some very technical issues. So in federal court, if you're going to allege the death penalty related to a gun crime, there has to be, number one, a homicide or a murder, but it has to be tied to an aggravated circumstance that's considered a crime of violence. And in this case, the government alleged stalking, and they said that stalking was a crime of violence that should enhance it to the death penalty. And the federal judge, an Obama appointee, said, nope, it's not a crime of violence. I'm going to dismiss it. And there you have it.
So stalking would not be an aggravating factor?
Wild.
Well, it's an aggravating factor, but not a crime of violence. So it has to be a specific type of aggravating factor. And in this case, the judge determined that it didn't meet the elements for a crime of violence, and the government is certainly going to appeal, and they have 30 days to do so.
What does it need to meet in order to be considered a crime of violence?
So there's something called what's called a categorical approach. It's a very technical legal term where you take the crime of stalking, it's a state crime in New York, and then you place it alongside a similar federal crime, and that is a crime of violence. And you say, are they similar or dissimilar? And if there are elements in the New York State's stalking laws that don't have the same type of violent stalking laws on the federal side, then it's not considered a crime of violence. So here, that's what the district court judge said.
Wow.
So the whole focus now goes to the state court? I mean, they still got an active murder case.
They do. So you have a parallel concurrent prosecution, meaning that you have both the state and the federal government prosecuting Luigi Mangione for the same conduct. But here today, the court's decision only relates to the federal case and not the state case.
Okay. All right. Let's switch to case number 2, which is Don Lemon. Celeste and I both, we've been kind of wondering about, well, what exactly are you allowed to do and not allowed to do? Unfortunately, we have seen some serious crimes of violence against houses of worship, especially over the last few years. And so I think a lot of people are sensitive to it. But what happened in this case? What are the crimes? And what about people who say they're going after him because he's high profile?
So, this situation from a lawyer's view is very fascinating. You have the First Amendment battling against itself. You have the First Amendment that protects freedom of speech and freedom of the press, but also freedom of religion and freedom of religious expression. And you have two different acts that protect religious expression, and that is the FACE Act, F-A-C-E, and the Ku Klux Klan Act. And those two acts prohibit people from obstructing the entrance of religious worship and threatening and intimidating those that want to express their religious beliefs in a church, so to speak. So here you have, protesters that entered a church, and there's no doubt about that happening. But you also have Don Lemon, who is a journalist who was there. And the question becomes, was he acting in his capacity as a journalist, or, and this is the important question, was he facilitating, directing, or participating in the protest itself? So if it's shown that he obstructed the entranceway, or he directed others to do so, or he was speaking on behalf of the protesters, then the First Amendment protections likely are not going to save him. And I'd also like to note that just because you have a defense, like an affirmative defense of, say, I'm a journalist, you can't prosecute me, it doesn't mean you can't be charged. It does mean that it's going to be difficult to convict you. So there are a lot of facts here that we still don't know. And, we only know the surface level stuff. And, so we need to find out what were the intentions of Don Lemon, and did he facilitate, direct, or obstruct any of the activities in the church that day?
I think it's interesting because there were other journalists that were arrested or charged, right? But he has the biggest name, the most notoriety.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so that is what is really gaining traction. But he wasn't the only one arrested.
So this was definitely the administration setting an example, and I'll tell you why. Don Lemon has a very well-known defense attorney from Washington, D.C., defending him in this case. And in federal cases, it's custom practice to let the defense attorney know, hey, an arrest warrant is coming down. Do you want to self-surrender? But they didn't do that here. In fact, they did the exact opposite. They didn't let the defense attorney know. And then they arrest Don Lemon at the Grammy Awards while he's outside covering it in front of everybody in Los Angeles. And because it was done at night, it means that he was going to at least spend the night in jail before he was released.
So do we know, one of the, I was reading some of the reports, they say that the pastor of that church was allegedly a member of ICE, but because he could have the same name as someone who is, works for ICE. Do we know that yet?
I've read that too, and until I see it in a police report, you just kind of have to take all that information with a grain of salt, because it's hard to trust a lot of the information that you read on the internet is coming from a good source or not.
Right.
But let's say that fact is true. It still doesn't change the analysis of Don Lemon being there.
Do you consider this also the case where you have some federal, some congressmen and women and senators saying, as a part of the government shutdown, one of the things that they don't agree with, they want ICE to remove the face coverings. But in this situation, you see, like for the pastor, let's say this was him. If, they see his face, they can clearly see who he is. They can then target somebody.
Well, the face masks are, appropriate because of officer safety issues. There's a reason why prosecutor and judges' personal addresses aren't listed on the internet. And if there's an officer safety issue, meaning that their families could be targeted by individuals, it's perfectly acceptable for them legally to wear face masks because their names are going to be in all the police reports. So it's not like they're going to be completely anonymous. So every report that's done for every arrest, every officer's name will be contained in the reports and be available to the defense attorneys and those arrested.
Don, let me ask you, or Don, oh boy, Josh, I want to move on from the Don Lemon case because we only have about 2 minutes left here. I know you've been watching this social media trial with great interest, and there have already been some developments with a settlement, TikTok already settling. This to me seems like it's an argument about, just how widespread social media is on the one hand. And on the other hand, what about your personal responsibility? If you feel like you're having a problem, walk away. Where do you come down on this? Where does the law come down on this?
So the law kind of looks, if you remember the big tobacco lawsuits 20 or 30 years ago, the lawsuits were about, what these tobacco companies knew when they were selling cigarettes to younger people. And were they aware of the dangers, and did they let the young people know the dangers were there before they brought the product? And here you have a similar situation where you have these plaintiffs who have horrible mental issues that they're claiming were a direct result from their use of these different media companies like Facebook, Instagram, Google, whatever. But the issue is different than, let's say, the ChatGPT suicide case that we talked about a couple months ago, where ChatGPT facilitated this specific act. Because what they're claiming now is these mental issues actually took place over months or even years. And to be able to point at one social media platform as the direct result of that mental illness is going to be very difficult. But there are more than one way to skin a cat here. So what these companies don't want is the discovery to shed light on how they have actually manipulated young people into staying on their websites, how they buy into the same type of gambling, psychological profiles that you see in casinos in order to release the dopamine effects that you get, pulling a slot machine lever. And they don't want all that information to come to light. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these cases settle.
Interesting.
Okay, yeah.
But
sure.
we've seen a couple of them settle, right?
Yeah,
I think Snapchat, they settled, but now Meta and
that means they're not consolidated. They're not in arm in arm together.
Yeah,
they don't have as many excuses either.
I guess some of these companies just absolutely don't want you digging too deep.
Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're ready to settle.
Wow, Josh, 3 great topics,
Good to see you, my friend.
I was going to say 3 great topics, 3 great answers, but there's like 12 answers. You had it all, Josh. Thanks again.
Hey, thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
buddy. We want to show you this beautiful shot here, and a quick mention to all of you on television. I went ahead on Instagram on my stories at Syleste Fox 10, posted a link if you want to join us on YouTube this morning and join the chat. We'd love to hear from you, where you're watching, and we just love chatting with all of you guys. Ron and I do, and we appreciate you guys sharing part of your day with us. We'll be right back.
10:30, and there you go, looking at another kind of a beautiful snowy scene. I was watching the reports, mostly I guess from Fox, but some of the other national networks out live on the front lawn this morning. It looks like they got a little bit more snow in D.C. overnight.
Yeah.
And it sure looks cool there, and in many other parts of the country. You know what? Every year until last year, the planet heated up a little bit more. I mean, we're talking about minuscule amounts, but that was the trend.
Right.
Last year was the first year in many that the temperature cooled globally. And if this is a good start to this year as well, I would say that's all great news, right, Celeste?
Absolutely good news. I want to give a quick shout out to everyone in the chat. Ron, it looks like folks are planning a get-together.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. What's going on?
There's lots of chatter about what type of food you guys are going to order. I think pizza might be the place, but now the type of food. But now we're looking for a location.
Okay.
And I believe Burger Boy 25 said, Celeste, can we use your backyard?
Yeah, sure. It's big. Big. Let's see. I live out one of those new neighborhoods out in the Far East Valley where what is happening with backyards? I mean, you literally could walk out and bump your nose into the backyard fence.
Oh, yeah.
This is what they're building.
But you have a community center, Ron.
Okay.
And so maybe we can go to the community center.
By the way, also on YouTube, Glynn Shorty 90. Welcome aboard, Glynn. We hope to hear from you a lot. Beautiful day here in Flagstaff.
Yes.
And Darren, because they're talking about where we all going to get together.
Yeah.
It was Sedona was one of the.
Wow, that's nice.
But Darren says, I don't like how they put all those roundabouts in downtown Sedona.
Oh,
it's a good point.
There's a lot of them as you're coming through Oak Creek.
Right?
Yes.
What are we, Europe?
The village of Oak Creek, my goodness.
We believe in stoplights here in the USA.
And I gave you a quick shout out before we went to a quick break. But if you're watching on TV, we so appreciate it. That means you're here in Arizona. But you can go ahead and click on a link on my Instagram at CelesteFox10. It'll take you to the YouTube, and you can watch us and join the conversation there.
Hey, there was a great effort. Look at what firefighters were dealing with. We're going to tell you just a little bit about this breaking story that came in from overnight. It was 13th Avenue in Union Hills on Bluefield. But look at this next shot right here. So there you see as they're in the garage. But look right here. That takes you, it's from Phoenix Fire. Celeste, the thing is, it takes you right into the battle that these firefighters face.
Yeah.
When they're up there, the concern, of course, is that it could get up into the roof line or into the attic and spread to the rest of the house. So that's where they really have to attack it.
Yeah, this was quite the situation. And in a lot of times when it makes it up to the attic, Ron, you have the fire and the smoke that is shooting out. And then it unfortunately can travel to the neighbors' homes.
Hey, every Friday morning on Fox 10 TV on our morning show, we get a chance to talk with Shanna Bream. I would love it if you guys kind of tune in now for about the next 3 minutes. Here's what she and I talked about this morning. Give us your feedback on YouTube and let us know what you think about some of these topics that we did discuss. So here she is. Shannon.
Good to see you today, Ron.
Well, the entire week, really, if you look at it, has been dominated by this one story, the shooting of a 37-year-old man in Minnesota as protests grow about ICE operations. You could argue that Americans weren't happy with immigration policy under Joe Biden, and that kind of helped to propel Donald Trump into the White House. But has Border Control and immigration in 1 week turned into an issue that could hurt Republicans now?
You're right. And listen, the polling still shows us people are about securing the border, and they're about deporting illegal aliens that they see as criminals as well, who have something besides just crossing the border. They want to support people who have come into their communities, even if it's illegally, that are living productive lives. That seems to be where there's a split. But on this enforcement issue, the polling shows that people think that ICE has gone way too far. This has not been handled well. I think there was a real change in tone, and the president made a very specific decision to send Tom Homan into Minneapolis. This is a guy who's been doing this for decades across multiple administrations, was given a Distinguished Service Award from President Obama. I mean, he knows how this works, and it feels like that turned down the temperature a bit as he's trying to get local and state officials to agree, listen, if we have an ICE detainer on someone, that's the, quote, worst of the worst. Let us come to the jails and pick them up when you're going to release them, because if we do that, it means a lot less of our agents on the streets and these really violent assaults and incursions that are happening. happening out there.
So how does he get the national conversation back to where he wants it, which is the economy, affordability, and is he to the point where he can maybe start to win that argument?
He's got to for the midterms. And so he's out there. You know, we've been told by Susie Wiles he's going to be campaigning like this is a presidential campaign year, like he's on the ballot. He had that affordability event out in Iowa this week. But for a lot of folks, they felt like it was overshadowed by this whole ICE issue and the death of Alex Preddy. So the polling we've got out this week shows that people think he's not focusing on the economy enough, and that's their number one issue. So they're going to try to hammer that a lot more. And they're saying, too, the White House is like, listen, this is going to be a good tax refund year for people when they see what we did with the One Big Beautiful Bill. That will make people feel a little bit more of a cushion and feel better going into the midterms.
Hey, you know, the president, he did have the element of surprise on his side when it came to the operation in Venezuela, extracting Nicolas Maduro. But Shannon, he won't have that if there's an attack on Iran. What is the thinking in Washington? What are you hearing? Are there some who think we could be headed toward war, or more just a show of force?
I think they think there's going to be a precision strike like Operation Midnight Hammer, like going after Iran's nuclear program, in and out, Maduro in and out. You know, the president has long said he doesn't want us to be dragged to any more foreign incursions. He does not want boots on the ground. But listen, we've moved a lot of assets into that region. We've moved warships, warplanes, and we're told the president has all options on the table and is considering potentially a strike within Iran.
All right. What do you hear about this late night deal between the Prez and Democrats to keep the government open? Can they get that through the House?
Well, listen, they got to get it through the Senate first. It didn't get to a vote last night. They're going to try another vote around 11 a.m. Eastern today in the Senate. So even if it does get through, the House is not back in session until Monday. So there's going to be at least a mini partial shutdown. And there are folks over in the House saying they don't like the deal, and they may not vote for it when they're back on Monday.
Let's hear about your show on Sunday.
So we're going to talk about that. We've got Senator Lindsey Graham with us, Senator Chris Murphy from the other side of the aisle. They do not agree on these changes to ICE. They maybe agree on the idea of body cams. That's something that Republicans and Democrats seem to have some common ground on. But when it comes to wearing masks and warrants and all kinds of other things, they don't agree on that. So even if you get this little extension for DHS funding for a couple of weeks, I don't know that they can hammer out those big policy changes, but we'll ask those two on Sunday.
It is a great way to spend a Sunday morning. Shannon, thanks. See you next week. Hey, so one of the things I think not trying to pat myself on the back here.
I'll do it, Ron.
Right? A little more in the middle.
Oh, do you want to scratch too?
So I think we have been doing a really good job of introducing you to some of the big political candidates as the elections approach later in the year.
Yeah, so we have Stephen Neal here with us this morning. Stephen, good to see you.
It's nice to see you as well.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. You are running for state superintendent.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. You're currently a basketball coach at Valley Vista.
A basketball coach and also a school psychologist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're a doctor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, good to see you.
So was there a moment in recent times, whether it was a few months ago or long ago, where you said, I'm going to get even more involved? This is such an important issue to me. I'd like to be the one who's running the schools here in Arizona.
I originally was planning on running 4 years ago. However, I didn't want to take away from my son. He's a singer and a baseball player, and he was getting ready to graduate. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. However, after he graduated from Valley Vista, I got to receive a phone call and say, hey, would you consider running? So I was like, you know what? I got to pray about it. I have to pray about it. I have to talk to my wife about it. And we went on vacation and came back. And I was like, no, it's time to make a change. I'm actually had always been watching the reading scores and how they were dropping, the math scores were dropping, but I always believed in my heart that Arizona has some of the most passionate teachers out there in order to make a change in kids' lives.
So what needs to change there at the K-12 level? Let's tackle that first.
Okay. Well, one of the biggest things we need to change is how we review education. Right now, we have a curriculum that is a 100-year-old industrial curriculum, and it's not fitting the workforce that people are looking for right now. If you look at how the curriculum is or some of the subjects that's being taught in the school, we've taken out what matters. So we've taken out home ec, we've taken out those CTE courses on a regular basis, but also we've taken out the compassion within the schools for our younger students. We're too competitive to where everything as a young child, you're competitive, but we need to go back to building those foundational skills.
You know, I think you touched on something. I feel like as a mom with school age kids or teenagers, but there's things that we took, and you're from the Valley, went to St. Mary's, that we took, and Ron, maybe you took in school as well, like a finance course, the budgeting course, the home ec that you mentioned. I remember taking a health class.
I remember taking a typing class.
Yeah, me too.
I took that the same way.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you know what? It comes in handy on the keyboard at work every day. I'll say that.
Does. I think that is something that we need more of, you know, especially with families dealing with financial crisis, like dealing with budgeting and some of those things that families need every day.
Well, let's take that a little bit deeper when you're talking about financial. A lot of times people talk about financial classes, and the first thing they want to talk about, I want to learn how to balance a checkbook and how to do savings. Well, let's go deeper. Let's teach our students how to have CDs and understand how Wall Street works with the stocks and the bonds out there. Why don't we teach kids how to run their own business and be CEOs?
I like that.
That's what we're talking about when you say financial. Those are the type of things that I want to implement in the schools. But when we talk also about financial, that should start earlier. When we start teaching students about financial responsibility at early ages, they're more success as teens, but also as adults. Don't wait until they're a teenager in high school and try to introduce that. You're too late. So those are some of the changes.
One of the things that when I was looking at your campaign of rethinking education is to get students more involved in helping to create the process, make it more interactive in that way. How do you do that? And how would that work?
You have to make it more realistic. You have to make it real life situations. So often there's a curriculum and the kids are sitting there and they're like, why am I learning this? This is boring. It doesn't pertain to me. So if you make it more live, more realistic, just emphasize what is the importance as an adult and how they're going to utilize it within their adult career, that's where you get more buy-in. Not only you get buy-in by the students, but you get buy-in from the parents. So that's where when I say rethink education, we have to rethink of looking at how students learn, but also with our teachers of their teaching process. So it's a two-way street.
Dr. Neal, we got to take a quick break real quick. If you can hang with us for a couple minutes, I think we have a couple more questions for you, if that's okay.
And on YouTube, if you guys want to jump in, any questions for the man who wants to be the next school superintendent, let us know. And welcome back. We are continuing our discussion with Dr. Stephen Neal. He says it's time to start rethinking education. And so, Celeste, take it away.
All right, Dr. Stephen Neal, thank you for staying with us. Let's talk about community colleges and what your vision would be if you were elected in the community college arena.
My envision with junior colleges is to get them more involved in the high schools. Once again, like I said, we have to rethink how our seat time is, because there are some kids that learn some information rather quickly. So why don't we do dual enrollment or triple enrollment? So by their senior year, they're actually taking their core classes from the junior colleges out here and be able to move ahead. So if they do go to a 4-year, they already have knocked out those 2 years, so they're ready to get more involved in their major. But not only that, but in sports, we need to bring back junior college football.
I totally agree.
We are losing so much funding and money by not having those programs, because we have a lot of athletes out there that love playing football, but they're paying this high tuition in another state. Parents can't see them. Yes, I have a connection with California, one of the JUCOs out there, and I do a very good job of getting some of the kids out there. But I want to bring junior college football back.
I think that's a great idea.
How would you respond to this? This is a comment just came in on YouTube. This is from Burger Boy, and he says, in his opinion, education isn't what it used to be, and that he says, he feels like there are some instances in some either schools or teachers that they don't seem to care as much as they used to. They don't teach history anymore, and we need more of an emphasis on special education for kids with needs. How do you respond?
Thank you, Burger Boy, for that question. And I agree. We need to focus in on history. If it happens in America, it is called American history. So often you have people that wants to explain and say it's DEI and it's critical race theory. No, it's not. It's understanding the different perspectives that's out there in America and being able to talk about it. So the thing is, we have to remember our past so we don't make the same mistakes in the future. As far as with special education, my background is a school psychologist. I'm in the trenches every day. I'm not a politician. I'm an educator. I'm a visionary. So when I'm working within the school systems with our kids, I'm creating programs to make sure our special need kids are getting what they need. And my goal is to work on career fields that interest special needs students, because they should have a right to have a career as well, and talk with the different organizations of how we can get them certified in special areas.
There's a couple of comments I just want to read because there's some good perspective. David Perry says, I agree. Burger Boy, parents can't just let teachers raise their kids. Parents definitely need to be involved. And Darla Nichols says, learning starts at home. And I think a lot of what you said is I think folks in the chat are really connecting.
Maybe that's a good question to wrap up with. How do you get parents more engaged?
I think it's more of treating parents with respect and getting them to buy in. I don't want school to continue to be seen as a babysitting program. And sometimes that's what it seems like to teachers. Our teachers need to be respected. They need to be able to have that creativity in the classroom in order to teach kids. And no, we're not trying to create ideology or some theory out there. No, we want to make sure kids receive the best education services that there is out there.
And just a yes or a no, because we have to wrap. ESA programs, yes or no? You keep them or you get rid of them?
You keep them with accountability, case-by-case scenario, and transparency.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Dr. Neal, thank you.
Covered a lot of ground there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Stephen Neal.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so another big story today has to be with what they're talking about down at the legislature regarding what Chris Mays, the Attorney General, said the other day. If you're not up to speed on it, here's a little bit more.
She made it very clear. If you're approached by somebody with a face covering who is not in traditional police garb, the blue shirt and the silver tin, that's grounds to shoot them if they're coming at you. That's ridiculous. Officers, local and federal, all the time in such garb with face coverings are serving warrants or entering dangerous situations. She has endangered police officers with that irresponsible and false narrative. She needs to retract it immediately for the safety of our officers, and she should resign in disgrace.
Chris Mays raised legitimate concerns about federal immigration enforcement tactics, including incidents across the country that have escalated tensions and in some cases led to the murder of United States citizens. We know that these masked lawless agents are not identifying themselves, are violating the Fourth Amendment right that protects us from unlawful searches and seizures. And with a law on the books like Stand Your Ground, Attorney General Mays was simply reciting the law that the Republicans in this legislature passed and explaining how confusion can happen and put people's lives at risk.
All right, so here's more about it. She said, I will always stand in support of sheriffs, police departments. My office will continue to work with our state, local, and tribal partners to keep Arizona safe and peaceful. I urge the Trump administration to do the same. It all started when she gave an interview where she said, well, I worry because we have a stand your ground law in Arizona when it comes to some members of law enforcement. But stand your ground is never to be used against law enforcement.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have any comments on that on YouTube, be sure to let us know. Again, that is SR 1036, where State Senator John Kavanaugh, you heard from him, says she should retract her statements and resign. Okay, so Syleste, that's going on. At the same time, we've got this other story that's kind of been developing that to me is amazing.
Oh, okay.
It is the way that Ring cameras,
Yes.
if you haven't seen this yet, ready? We're about to unveil it for you.
All right, let's go.
They reunited a veteran here in the Valley with his service animal using AI. And so it's quite a story. Here, listen a little bit more about it, and then we'll tell you.
Called for her, went out back, and then realized that the garbage can was knocked over and she had jumped the fence.
That picture, we put it into the AI. It then looks for that specific dog. And if we find it on your house, it's like, Nicole, like this dog, you know, the picture looks like this dog in front of your house. Do you want to contact your neighbor?
It was terrifying, just those hours. So having extra eyes, extra people being able to see and notify us when they saw her really helped.
Now, the thing about it is, if you have a Ring camera, you can be enrolled in this program, and if you can help find a lost dog on an almost everyday basis.
Yeah.
I don't have a Ring camera, but I would definitely do it. Do you?
We do have a Ring camera,
All
yeah.
right, fine.
Like, you know, and then sometimes they'll talk to the people.
Yes, true.
The delivery.
Sure.
Like, hi, how are you?
Well, I live in a low-crime city, Syleste, called Mesa. So, you know, I'm like, okay, well, maybe someday.
I live in Center City, Ron. We need more cameras around.
Okay, well, anyway.
Cool story, though. Way to Ring.
Yeah, they're going to work on this program. You know, as you heard, they're going to next roll it out to missing cats. But the thing is, with facial recognition, they think that maybe it could help solve kidnapping cases, missing people, missing children, missing adults. There's a long way to go. And I know there's plenty of negativity out there about AI, but that would be one positive thing.
If they were able to reunite a cat.
Yes.
Like what? That's just so crazy. What are you looking at? The whiskers? Like what is it?
I know.
It's really crazy.
Forepaws, whiskers.
Is that a bird?
Goes by the name of Tabby. Right? Yeah, for sure. Hey, before we go, one other thing that we would love to get your input on here, which, by the way, David Perry is saying, believe me, working in the school shows me how much money is wasted, thrown out. Furniture that's good, throwing up books, for example, he says, that are good, throwing out all kinds of things. that their budget doesn't get, so their budget doesn't get cut. Now, that needs to be looked into if that's really true. Wow, and that's straight from the horse's mouth, right?
If you're
That's
new,
David. He works in education.
Yeah, and if David's new or anybody else is new to the chat, I think they're trying to meet up. So I threw this in there because we have viewers in Thatcher.
Yeah, we do.
We have viewers up in Lake Havasu.
And Payson.
And Uzbekistan.
We do. It may only be one guy, but we appreciate you. You know, we have a way that they actually, after the show's over, you can go back and kind of figure out who watched.
Yes.
Like from what country. It's
Right.
really interesting.
And I think we have somebody, the aviator. He is in the military. He's in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to think of like a middle part. I was going to say Paris, but it seems like hard if we were all going to fly to Paris.
Oh, this is for the meetup?
For
For
meetup.
pizza?
Right.
Okay.
But I was thinking maybe Prescott. There's probably, I think there's a great Italian food restaurant around the courthouse square.
Okay.
That it's like up a little bit farther north for folks in the high country.
Oh, there you go.
know, you never know.
A little road trip.
Yeah.
Hey, Celeste, let me ask you this because I just think this is the coolest thing. Andrea Bocelli, who you see here on his visit to the White House, has announced a new worldwide tour, and any artist who doesn't include this metro area of 5 million people. You know, Celeste, I went to the Elton John concert a couple of years ago at the Chase Field. I don't know, they had 50 or 60,000 people there.
Yeah.
It was filled to the rafters, and then they did it a second night. I mean, that's close to 100,000 people that came out on 2 nights. So anyway, yes, he is going to be in the Valley September the 18th at the Mortgage Matchup Center. That's the basketball arena where the Suns play. And by the way, the tickets go on sale 1 week from today, next Friday. Who is on your list, Celeste, of somebody maybe you haven't seen yet, but you would love to? Or maybe you want to go see him again?
Well, I mean, we love Chris Stapleton.
Yep.
Gary and I. And so that he would be high in the list. He always has a great opening act, too.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Andrea Bocelli, he used to come around the holidays and do a holiday concert.
Oh, yeah.
We used to have a big mariachi that would come and do that. That was pre-COVID. But it has been amazing, to see. We love live music. Do you love live music? Maybe in the chat you want to let us know who's your favorite that you've seen perform live.
Yeah, the other one they were just now talking about is Luke Combs is going out on tour with Dierks Bentley.
Wow. Local guy,
Valley
by the way.
favorite.
Yeah.
That would be a fun one to go see.
Oh, my
I'm sure
goodness.
Dierks is like, we got to play 5 nights in a row in Arizona.
No kidding. Jeez. Thank you, everyone who liked the video. We have 33 likes thus far. And Ron, I get to join you again at 11:30, my friend.
Sweet. Okay. Game plan looks like this. Ty and Anita next. We'll be back at 11:30.
Yes.
Keep those comments rolling on YouTube. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you again. Here they come next.
That's why I have you.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week.
TGIF. You ready to have some fun?
I'm always ready to have fun on a Friday.
Really fun?
Tell me.
The Phoenix Open.
Yes, it is. You know what else is fun? This loud music that's still playing. Yay, it's gone. All right.
Oh, see? This is why I didn't wear my earpiece.
Anita forgot her earpiece today, so I'm like, I'll just relay anything that the producers need to tell us right to you, but it's going to be just over the air.
I just got back in. We were at Bubba's 33 and Texas Roadhouse. The sad story, the owner of Texas Roadhouse and Bubba's 33 was diagnosed many years ago with tinnitus and committed suicide because of it, but was raising money to try to educate people and help people. So on Monday, if you head out there and you have lunch or dinner, 100% of the proceeds, I had to throw that in, are going to go to the association.
Oh, that's fantastic. And some good food, too.
It is. And on a lighter note,
we've got, of course, a lot coming up over the next couple of weeks here in the Valley. And to kick it all off is the WM Phoenix Open, which is such a huge event. That is going to start this weekend, all next week.
So we usually say our favorite guest is joining us. I'm going to have to say one of our best dressed guests.
Well, thank you.
John, every time you show up, you look sharp.
Well, I can't take any of the credit, actually. This was given to me by the stylist at the hotel.
There you go.
I really like that.
Well,
I like the pink. It pops.
Thank you. Thank you.
John, of course, you are with the Phoenix Princess Hotel, Fairmont. You say it then. You say
What's
it.
on his shirt?
Fairmont Scottsdale Princess.
That's why he wore the shirt.
Yes, I can just read it off your chest. It's a lot easizer that way.
You work for Fox 10.
This is a fun game, John. Yeah. Let's keep this going.
Where does Anita work?
The zoo?
The zoo. You beat me to it.
Oh my gosh, I'm done. I am so done.
All right, let's talk about this because you guys
funny.
are right kind of like adjacent to where all the action is. And if folks can't get seats or don't want to kind of deal with kind of the craziness that is the WM Phoenix Open, you kind of have an alternative at the Princess.
We do. So we are the host hotel, and we actually have our own entrance to the Phoenix Open, to the tournament. So you can, so we try to make it really simple. You can ride share in to the Princess and walk down our path, and at where our entrance is, we have an activation called the Fifth Fairway. So food, drinks, golf simulators, putting greens, games, huge TVs, seating areas. So there's definitely something to do there. Our world famous La Hacienda Mexican restaurant is actually having a little La Hacienda, so kind of a pop-up.
How cute.
Yeah, tacos, flautas, chips, salsa, guacamole. I mean, so you can actually like eat real food.
Yeah.
And not worry about. But it's also, I mean, things like the Open, a great event, obviously brings so many people, can be pricey because it's like, I don't know how much it costs for a beer, but it's expensive to an event. So something like this, it's a little bit more affordable.
Yeah, it's definitely a quieter option. You can even valet park with us, and we'll park your car, and you can enter through our gate. You can also exit through our gate, where you can go to, if you want to get a little crazy, you can go up to Plaza Bar after tournament play ends and spend some time there. But there's definitely a lot to do for guests at the hotel. It doesn't cost anything to enter the Fifth Fairway. Now you have to pay to park, and obviously you have to pay your ride share person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all the activations on the Fifth Fairway, it's not ticketed.
Really?
Yeah, come as you please.
Very cool.
Oh, that's really lovely.
Yeah.
Oh.
We've got some video of kind of like, this is years past. This is when it gets crazy. This is what. This is on
you get
Thursday,
to watch all this action? Like, what's your perspective as someone who sees it and is essentially working this every single day of the Open?
Yeah, it's definitely a blend of work and fun.
Yeah.
It is really great to see everybody come from really all over the world. I mean, at the hotel, we have guests from all over the place who stay with us. At this tournament, you get really great, just the average guest gets really great exposure to the golfers. I mean, you can get really close. Don't get too close, please. But
don't touch the golfers.
Don't do that.
I've done that before, reached out.
Well, they probably let you. They didn't. Yeah.
I was out there a couple of years ago. What's a Pro-Am where the famous people?
Yeah, Pro-Am Day. That's Wednesday.
And there's a country singer, Chris
Stapleton.
No.
Chris.
He has a twin brother who plays the drums.
Chris Gaines.
No.
I don't know any country music.
He's married
Garth
to
Brooks.
So that was Chris Gaines with Garth Brooks' alter ego for like 2 albums. So that's a deep cut, yes.
Wow. Do you know a lot about country music?
I guess.
No, not really, because you don't know the name of this Chris.
Country singer Chris, married to Lauren. She was in The Bachelor. She's real cute. People used to tell me I look like Chris Lane.
Oh, sure.
Chris Lane. So Chris Lane and I love his wife because I follow her on Instagram. And they're walking towards me. And I'm live, and the brother's name, I don't know the brother's name, Chris Lane. And I start talking to them, and I don't know who's who, but the point of this story is I was
wondering where this was going. We'll just keep meandering. We'll eventually find it.
We're going to get on the green here in just a second.
But eventually I did. But, I was saying, Corey. So I couldn't tell them apart, but the whole point is don't reach out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't touch.
Oof, we landed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, the
Friday,
the tournament is really great, and the golfers who love it really do love it because it is a totally different atmosphere from any other golf tournament.
Sure.
I mean, on 16, if you hit a hole-in-one, they'll throw all the beers on you. And,
you read my mind. Can you hear the chaos from the 16th hole at the Princess?
Yeah. So what was it? 2 years ago when there was a hole-in-one there on Saturday, from the Princess, which is, so 16 is kind of in the middle of the course, and we're on the back end.
Okay.
You hear just this eruption. And then from, if you can get high enough, you can see actually bottles and cans flying.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's amazing.
Cool.
Do a lot of people, who attend stay at the Princess?
Yeah. I mean, we're
right there.
booked solid. I mean, I think we do have some rooms available Saturday night.
Okay.
But we're pretty booked for the week.
Says you're on a roll today.
Yeah, I know. Let's talk about looking ahead. Some folks were asking about day passes, and you guys have done that in the past as far as like if people just want to have a day pass to enjoy the amenities at the Princess. How can they do that?
Oh, yeah, because summer's coming.
With summer coming, staycations.
You have to plan that.
But yeah, we do work with Resort Pass. In our participation just depends on occupancy.
Sure.
So, this week would not be a week where you could be a Resort Pass guest, but we do love our Resort Pass guests. And just go to the Resort Pass site, reserve your date and time, and enjoy.
Are you already planning ahead for the 4th and the Christmas?
Yeah, you guys always have you guys do it big.
We went,
for all the holidays.
I took my parents to the Christmas, and it's my dad's favorite. They live in Chicago, and they come out here, and he'll go stand at the lake. I don't even know the name of your...
The lagoon, yeah.
Yeah, the lagoon. He'll stand there, and he will literally walk around it because there's so many different lights and floats, and he loves it.
What did he think of Starlights, which was new in 2024? It's the flashing lights and the music.
Loved it.
Okay, perfect.
Loved it.
Good.
He loved it. I couldn't get him on the slide. Would not
Next
go on
year,
the slide.
Ted.
But Ted, he particularly loved. I think you guys had cranberry mules.
Yes.
Oh,
he really liked it.
Yeah, we're going to need a waiver for Ted if he's going to go on that ice slide.
Lucy, my mom said the same thing. She was a little bit, like, Ted, come on, but
Ted.
It's beautiful, yeah. All the celebrations are. So how do people find you guys, get a hold of you guys, all that good stuff?
ScottsdalePrincess.com. If you go to ScottsdalePrincess.com/WMPO, you can reserve your parking. You can find out all the activations we have going on property. We have 2 Super Bowl parties that are happening.
Oh, wow.
Kentucky Derby parties.
Big game, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep, Kentucky Derby.
So much stuff.
Kentucky Derby in May. That's coming back for Saturday in May.
Do you guys sell that shirt?
Is it in the gift shop?
This is bespoke.
Oh, excuse us.
I thought maybe you could walk into the gift shop and...
Oh no, there's plenty. Listen, there's plenty of beautiful options at Provisions in our other shops, but this one.
I was going to buy one for Ty for Valentine's Day.
Oh wow, well that's
maybe I'll give it to Ty for Valentine's Day.
Oh wow, look at that.
If you get a box in February,
I feel kind of left out though.
It's okay.
Okay. We can share it.
Okay. You're awesome, John. Thank you.
Thanks for coming
Good time.
in.
Beautiful resort. Thanks so much. Support local.
Yeah, for sure.
And they really are just a big part of the Valley.
All right, let's talk about this.
Headshots.
Headshots. They are so important. If you have a Instagram, you want to get eyes on
LinkedIn,
it.
that's
a
huge.
LinkedIn, now that is huge.
Maybe you have your own website. I Googled it, and it's in 2024. Job application volume surged to over 173 million people. And that was just in the first half of the year. And then over 250 applicants submitted per job opening. So there's a lot of competition out there.
Sure. So I want to introduce our next guest here. We have Tony Taafe.
Taafe, come on, Ty. Do me a favor. Get the name right. Come on now.
right, hold on. Let's start over. Hold on.
I will say this. No, don't start over. Don't start over.
All right, and joining us here this morning is Tony Mr. Taafe. Good morning.
Tony Taafe.
I don't even know what to say.
I will say, nobody gets it right.
Nobody gets it right.
It's one of those strange Irish/Welsh/Scandinavian names that, nobody.
Well, we're glad you're here now, and I apologize for botching it.
Your specialty is headshots. How long have you been doing this?
Headshots specifically, little over 10 years, maybe 11 years. But I was a photojournalist.
How many do you think
you've
taken?
How many people?
Yeah. How many headshots have you taken?
Oh I wish you would have asked me before this so I could count them up.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah, wow.
And we have some photos of you with some of the people that you have photographed here. Willy Wonka?
Oh, look at that.
I don't know what Willy Wonka's real name is.
Gene
Wilder.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just screwing up everybody's name today.
Do you know mine?
Anita?
Oh my gosh, this is so neat.
Clint Eastwood, yeah.
Wow.
So how did you, let's start at the very beginning. How did you get into this?
Oh, it's a convoluted story. I don't know whether we have enough time.
Well, we
to
have
talk.
2 minutes until a break.
Okay.
And then we have
to take a break, and then you can keep talking after.
So then, how I got into it was I moved to Los Angeles to work in sales. The sales visa was taking longer than what it should have taken. And so I got a journalist visa, but I wasn't a journalist. I know copy, I know how to write, but I wasn't a journalist. But they said, but you know what, you can also be a photojournalist on this visa. And it was a company who were sponsoring me for the visa, obviously. But I'd never taken a photograph in my life, as I say, but I was like, I'm not going home. I loved this place. I loved it, I just didn't want to go home. So I bought a cheap camera, cheap lens, and
that was it.
And that was it. And then
so cool.
I was just knew I was just never going to leave. That's all I cared about.
Photojournalist says like news, paparazzi?
News, mostly news.
Wow.
So I would drive around LA just basically looking for things to photograph. And then I would get a call from a news agency who I work for and say, something's just happened downtown LA. Something's just happened on, La Cienega and Sunset. Get over there. And then you get over there, you take photos. And it was fun. It was honestly the
kind
most...
of chasing breaking news then everywhere you went.
Exactly what I was doing, which is not too dissimilar to what I know. What
We're going to take a quick break. Hold that thought. 2 minutes, and we'll be right back with Tony Taafe. Our next guest is in the waiting wing, and she guessed your last name to be Taafe. So I guess
I'm not far off. Okay, I don't feel as bad now, Tony.
Do you know what? You actually wasn't terribly off. The worst I've ever had. It was a primary school teacher. She said Taafe. That's way more.
There's a lot more going on. Yeah.
Hey, Dave, will you type Tony's last name in the chat for us, and people can guess?
Well, we already know it.
Well, I know, but it's fine. We're having fun, okay? So you decide you don't want to do news anymore. You don't want to chase news, and you switch gears?
Yeah, no, it wasn't that I didn't want to do it. I loved it. It was honestly the most exciting time of my life, probably. It was just, I'd be on the road for 3 weeks of the month, and I visited 46 states in the U.S. I was everywhere all the time. The only 4 I haven't been to, Hawaii, Alaska, North and South Dakota. I went to all the others.
Wow.
And then everybody said, you really have to go to North and South Dakota.
Why?
They didn't.
Like, did you?
No, of course.
Did you?
No, I'm joking. They said you really have to go to Hawaii. And
I was going to say, I would go to those two other North and South Dakota. Yeah.
I still haven't been to those 4 states.
You haven't been to Hawaii yet?
No.
Oh, you
I've
should
never
go.
been. I know.
You should
I
go.
would love to.
It's a good honeymoon spot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for just costing me an extra $20,000.
She's good at that, spending other people's money, this Anita Roman. All right, let's talk about the headshots and the mechanics of it, because I think people think that they can take like a selfie. And I think you need to add a little bit of professionalism, especially on certain sites where you're trying to, I guess, garner eyeballs, like a LinkedIn, where you're looking for potentially a new job, new opportunities to come your way. So let's talk about the do's and don'ts of getting that perfect headshot for folks.
So there's nothing wrong with a selfie, by the way. You know, it can look good. But what I would say is that how I look at headshots and how any good headshot photographer will look at headshots is it's not a photograph of you. It's marketing materials. It's something that in a split second can give a professional look, but also confidence, approachability. There's a real nice balance that you can get for headshots, and a selfie is just not going to do it. You know, like I can look at these lights here and be like, okay, I look best on this angle, but that's not marketing. That's just a nice photo of yourself.
Yeah.
And so the confidence, the approachability, the personality that comes out from somebody is what really matters, because most people, when they do a headshot, they're doing it for one of 3 things. They're doing it because their boss told them to do it.
Yeah.
They're doing it because they want a promotion, or they're doing it because they want a new job. And I'm talking about corporate headshots here, obviously, not acting headshots or anything like that. And all of those things, we can make ourselves look great easily. We can use AI headshots.
Yeah, true.
I've seen a lot of people try and do that.
But so disingenuine.
It's not disingenuine. It just depends on what you want from the headshot. If you want it to be something that is a marketing material, it's terrible. If you just want to look good, AI headshots are great.
And that's probably why they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? I mean, 15 years ago, you sent in a paper resume. You didn't necessarily send in a photo, but now the way you're applying for jobs, you have a website, you have the LinkedIn, and that is perhaps your best face forward, is when someone sees you first.
Yeah, it's the, they say you say a picture says 1,000 words. You can't change a first impression on somebody. It's impossible, and not because of you, but because we as people, us 3, that when we have an idea of something in our mind, it's really hard to change our mind. And that's the photo is the easiest way to do that. You know, if I meet someone and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure about that person, it takes a lot for me to change my mind about that person.
Sure.
And that's the same for everybody, you know? So that photo, that first impression is so important.
Let's talk about maybe if someone doesn't have the budget right now to have professional headshots taken of them, but they still want something that looks professional. What are some easy tips that maybe they could do to I guess, get that same effect?
Get that first impression.
Get that first impression right.
Make it very simple. I would say don't do this because
no duck lips.
Yeah, definitely not duck lips. Unless you do them like you just did, which I think looks superb.
You may get a lot of interest on that one.
No, I mean, listen, if somebody wants to do it themselves, if they don't have the budget, then I would say don't go to somebody who's going to charge. Don't go to a department store. Don't do it, because all you're going to have is somebody standing there saying, turn left, turn right. The
yearbook pose.
And the yearbook pose, exactly. And then they'll just be pressing the button. That's
wasting
terrible.
Your money almost,
it just doesn't look good. Yeah. But just, do you know what? My I guess number one tip if somebody's doing a selfie is just do a fake laugh.
Oh.
Don't do a fake smile. Because a fake smile is like, and the eyes go up and you look like you're about to, you look like a crazy person. But if you do a fake laugh,
that's a really good tip.
It's very different.
You want to practice?
Very different.
I'll take a picture of you. I don't want my picture taken.
Okay, fake.
Tony knows I don't like having my picture taken. I feel very awkward.
I love it.
Yeah,
but if you make me laugh.
But you're also very easy to photograph and easy to keep. But no, do it yourself though. Let's see you do it for yourself now. No, but bring that. Don't do it so low.
Stop yelling, Tony. Okay, hold on.
Okay, no. Because what you did, you did this. You did this. You put your head back.
Wait.
You're right. Oh, hold on.
I would want
put your head forward when you laugh.
Okay.
Put your head forward. No, that's.
Oh, that's not bad though.
No,
Tony,
but it's okay.
Tony's not going to hire you. Tony, we have a question. What experience have you had that is the most memorable experience with a star? Hollywood, I'm guessing.
Oh, Gene Wilder. By a million miles. Yeah. How long do we have?
About a minute. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was in Connecticut to photograph an actress, and the day before I got there to photograph this actress, I can't say who it is because I signed an NDA. She had a big, I guess, personal issue.
Oh.
And I should have been there for 2 days. I was there for about 5 days. And on the fourth night, I was speaking to my agency and they said, listen, if it doesn't happen tomorrow, we can't do it. You're going to have to come home. On the on the fifth day, it happened. I photographed the actress. And I said, listen, I've heard Gene Wilder lives here around the corner from where I was photographing her. Find me his address. And they said, what are you going to do?
You said this to the actress or the agency?
No, to my agency.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to my agency. So I said, find me his address. What are you going to do? I said, I'm going to knock on his door. I'm going to go in and say hello. That's all I wanted to do. And I knocked on his door. I saw a woman. You would imagine he would have big security gates and everything, right? He didn't. It was just a little grate. I saw a woman and I said, listen, I've heard Gene Wilder lives here. She's like, yeah, who are you? It turns out this was his wife.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, she asked for my ID. He came out. We spoke for a couple of hours.
Wow.
It was not the best experience with a celebrity, probably the best experience of my life.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Thank you. We're going to put all your info up on our site so people can get a hold of you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Tony Taafe.
Taafe. No, not Taafe. Sorry.
All right, someone wrote it in the chat and someone just talked about it, but we are learning, according to TMZ, that
legendary actress Catherine O'Hara, 71 years old, has passed away. She began her career in improv and sketch comedy, believe it or not, and then she took on some really dramatic roles. She was in Beetlejuice, which I watched recently. Home Alone, I think, is one of the big ones. She was Kevin's mom.
And one of my favorite TV shows, she's on that TV show Schitt's Creek. So again, this is just coming out from TMZ. They have no idea how she died. So again, we're hoping to get some more information. 71
years old, so we will have coverage throughout the afternoon. Okay, we're not done yet. We've got a few minutes. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay.
Guys?
Bianca, good morning.
Are you laughing?
Good morning.
We're going to get to it quick. You have something really fun coming up, a disco night at the Duce.
Yes, tonight. We call it Studio 525.
Ooh.
That's our address.
Okay.
It's an ode to the legendary Studio 54 disco night. So think 70s discotheque.
And you want people to come dressed in their best 70s.
Yes.
Yeah.
People get all decked out, flares, glitter, the whole thing.
Why do we do this?
We just kind of love to push boundaries at the Duce. We're a historic warehouse, so we love to just pay tribute to through the decades nights and just have fun. It's just such a way to kind of like let loose, and people dance with strangers, and we have local vendors doing glitter, and the whole thing. We have a live band, Maggie Speaks, local band this night tonight. But yeah, it's just such a fun night. They don't want the night to end.
Oh, I
and
bet.
Yeah.
Some good music from the 70s, too. That disco era, come on.
And, for people who maybe listen to a little bit of disco or watch the videos, they can relive it. Because it's not often that you get to go back in time.
Relive your youth a little bit, right?
Right. And even for people who didn't live through
In the
disco
70s,
era.
Yeah, that's it.
It's kind of a night for everyone. We get all ages, all walks of life. It just brings together such a unique kind of group of people. And people are dancing all night long.
Oh, I
it's
bet.
really awesome.
Burn some calories.
Yes.
I was thinking about what would I wear? Tickets, do you need to buy tickets?
We sell them at the door. They're $25. You could also buy them online ahead of time, but they definitely will be available at the door as well.
You guys have done this before?
Yeah, we try to do it once every couple months.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
What's the turnout like?
It's awesome.
What's the vibe?
It's kind of crazy. You walk in through the patio in our Black Orchid room. It kind of takes you back in time. That's where the live band is. Everyone is dancing. Everyone is super decked out in their outfits. We have a kind of local night market in our grapefruit patio.
Oh, fun.
So if you don't have glitter or any of that, you can go to the local patio and you guys can get glitter from vendors, hair tinsel. We even have real tattoos being done.
Oh, wow.
And then our rooftop lounge, we have a silent disco going all night with a live DJ and some sax. And
I love it.
Yeah, it's just kind of a full transformative night.
We've got 20 seconds left.
Okay.
Give us the address one more time, the web address.
525 South Central Ave in downtown Phoenix.
What time do doors open?
8 p.m.
All right.
Thank
Bianca,
you.
thanks for coming in.
Thank you guys so much.
We're gonna
I will.
we'll do you bring like your big shoes and we'll do like a dance next time.
Okay.
He can dance.
No, I can't.
He can dance. Okay, folks, Ron and Syleste are back.
All right. Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.
It's 11:30. It's Ron and Syleste coming back with you. And by the way, Syleste, here's the way the system works.
Okay.
So every morning at 11:30, Dino Fazzini in live control grabs a ooh. Do I sound loud and clear or almost too loud?
No, I think you sound great.
Thank you.
But I'm hard of hearing, I think, in one ear. So.
Oh, is it? Okay, so anyway, you're looking at, he just texted me, this is South Portsmouth, Kentucky.
Wow.
I believe that's the Ohio River, and the camera is on the Kentucky side, and you're looking back into Ohio.
That is wild.
It makes me want to go explore that little spot right there in the USA, the beautiful snow-covered USA. Unfortunately, they're getting ready for yet another big storm to wall up the East Coast this weekend. Can you believe it?
It has been crazy. And I think, we look at it and we go, oh, that's very beautiful and it's pretty. But in a lot of these cities that aren't used to the snow, they don't have the infrastructure to handle like snow on the grounds. Maybe some cities don't even have a snow plow in their entire city limits. And just a side note, I have a girlfriend, her daughter goes to Ole Miss. She's back here in Phoenix now. Ole Miss had power out because of all the ice.
Oh, I heard it was like one of the worst hit of them all.
Yeah, so in Oxford, Mississippi, they've actually they told the kids, we're shutting down the campus for 10 days.
Ooh.
Apparently her apartment was like 45 degrees.
Okay.
And so she's back here at home, her daughter. But it has been crazy to see what has been happening in a lot of these cities around the country with all of the snow and the ice. And it has been crazy. So yes, it's a beautiful shot, but we know it can be hard.
Yeah. Well, for sure. I was in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the only time I've ever been there. And as we checked into the hotel, which was right on campus, there is a hotel on campus right next to the Bear Bryant Center, where you can go and learn about the history of Bama football. And they're checking us in, and they're like, now you're aware that there is a hurricane warning, I think.
Wow.
A tornado warning. Man, it was one or the other. And they're like, here's a map. If it does come close to a direct hit of how you go down into the basement.
Oh, wow.
So, in the South, they get some very intense weather, and man, oh man, oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the clock is still ticking toward midnight. It seems to me that a lot of bridges were burned between the taxpayers, that's us, and you guys on YouTube, and the politicians when we had to deal with that incredibly long government shutdown before.
Yes.
And so I don't think anybody, Republican or Democrat, wanted to go down that road. And it sounds like they have a deal in the works, but still the clock is ticking.
Well, and I think a lot of people were waiting to see what they decide, what they hammer out, who has this idea or that idea.
Right.
And it just so happened that a lot of the incidents happened with ICE as of late. And now that is what seems to be holding the situation up.
Yeah. So the deal that the president hammered out yesterday with Democrats and key Republican leaders too, is to break it into 6 different budget packages and pass 5, and then keep working on a Homeland Security package for the next couple of weeks. Here's some of what was getting said in that regard.
Well, I think the White House realizes that they made a huge mistake to let this agency go rogue.
Madness and violence must end. Congress must act to rein in ICE and end the violence.
The Karen wing of the party wants to defund ICE, just like they wanted to defund the police. Therefore, the Democrats have got to vote against the bill.
So, again, standby mode. We wait to see how all that unfolds. Now, there's another story that we've been talking about since by the way, 2 hours of information and conversation. Syleste and me glad to guide you guys on YouTube through it.
Yes.
Whatever you want to talk about is what we want to talk about.
Yeah, so throw out some ideas in the chat.
Sure. By the way, do you have dating advice? We have a dating, this is really kind of a fun, sort of a dating expert joining us in about 90 seconds. But first, let's update everybody. If you missed the Don Lemon story, he was arrested. And, of course, it's a big story this morning. This all has to do, of course, with the interruption of that church service of the protesters coming from a public area into a private area, a church service. And so the poll question, let's just update you on it. Here's how it looks. 74% say, you know what, good, he's not above the law. 25% say it's bad. It feels like purely a political prosecution.
All right, let's take a look at YouTube. And where do these numbers? The numbers are on fire.
Yeah.
They really started to grow here. We have, I just pulled it up, 2.4 thousand votes on this in just the last
Weren't we
2
at
hours.
like 600 last
We were at all like 686 or something, at the
Okay.
top at 10 a.m.
Yep.
So 54% of the people voting here on the YouTube poll say good, he's not above the law. 40% say bad, purely a political prosecution, and 6 say no opinion. And by the way, if you're watching on television, you can go to YouTube. I put a link on my Instagram at CelesteFox10 in my stories. Click on that, and it'll take you to our video here on YouTube, and you can vote on that as well. The link to vote in the poll on YouTube is at the top of the chat.
Okay. All right. So here we go now with this interview we've been looking forward to, because dating is always a thing, Celeste.
And you know, even after you get married, dating is a thing, Ron.
You know what? That's a really good point.
You should always be dating.
All right. So what is hot take dating? And what can we learn from Jonathan Thorp? Shall we bring him on board? Here
Johnny, help us keep the romance alive.
Okay, so the first thing you do is you call everybody like you've been best buds forever. There's Celeste. Johnny! Hey, what's going on?
Good afternoon, guys. How are you both?
Really good. All right. So what is hot take dating?
Yeah, it's funny. In our capacity, you kind of introduced me as a dating expert. What we do is we help folks with relationships. And what we're discovering is that whether you're talking professionally or personally, relationships are a huge part of our lives today. People reach out and they want to learn more. And I don't think it's any surprise that we've kind of now gotten to this hot take dating, right? You know, patience in all aspects of our lives, patience is on the fade. And people want things faster and they want things funnier. And so if we're actually racing dating forward and actually dropping our hot takes in on the first or the second date, we probably shouldn't really be surprised. And I think what happens is people just want to understand, are we going to be compatible as soon as possible, and we can trim down all of the wasted time and the wasted effort. And I think that's where we've gotten.
So the idea is that you jump right in and you're like, look, if I got a few strong opinions and here they are. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
That's exactly it. You're taking your most controversial opinions, perhaps some of even your values that you know might draw a line for somebody, and you throw them out there on the first date.
Good idea.
And you let the other person react.
So you're like, I'm a vegetarian. You know,
and the guy who just invited you to a steakhouse is like, well, that's sort of a deal killer.
Right. Actually, I like
good to know.
You know, I want a woman who wants a big steak, like, you know, who wants to eat. So what are some of after you kind of throw that out there and you're past that first point, let's say you both like steaks, what's next?
I think our advice is going to look like this. I think hot take dating could even be a healthy thing, but here's what I'd recommend. 3 buckets. Number 1 is transparency. In fact, I think transparency is a really healthy dimension for any relationship. And if hot take dating runs your core issues, some of your most important values forward in a transparent way, I think it could be a great thing. With respect to significance is the second one. I want to make sure that my hot takes are truly significant and meaningful to me. I'm not just out there throwing sensational, provocative things out there just to kind of rage bait or just to get somebody to react. Make sure these are things that are meaningful to you, that actually could draw a line for you. And then the last thing I would offer you is this. It's really about compatibility. And so many people mistake compatibility as how much sameness is between two people. Do we get along with the same kinds of things? Do we like to do the same activities? Do we believe in the same things? But I think more importantly, compatibility is not how same two people are, but how do you actually manage and react to the differences between two people? And if hot take dating can actually advance those differences, and two people can do it in a way that's respectful, that remains curious, and you can actually learn about why someone else thinks differently, I think it could be a really healthy thing. All in all.
Good point.
A lot of what you're saying makes like really good sense.
Right.
You're a sharp looking guy. And you sound good too. I don't know if you got a radio background. But look, here's our first comment from Jared of Sonora. Oh no, wait, from Improvan. Are we sure you're not an AI generated character?
Pinch me. I think I'm real. Yeah.
Okay. So Jared of Sonora, though, does say, and do you get this from people? He says, "I'm done with dating." When you field that question, how do you respond to that?
The first thing I would say is I totally get it. I think dating can be a huge fatigue source right now because people are over all of the ceremony and all of the theater that goes into dating. And I think people want a much more real, a much more honest experience. And that's what I like about this hot take dating idea is that it liberates people to say, you know what, I'm going to speak my mind. And if you don't like the way I operate or you're not willing to accept another way of thinking, then it's probably best we learn that, earlier than later.
All right. Emperor Ivan has a good idea as we wrap up here with Jonathan, I think. When you're thinking about things, adventure and things like that, he says, hey, babe, come pull weeds with me. It's fine doing something together, right? We got 20 seconds.
Yeah, I love it. And there's all kinds of activities you can do. You can go out and do activities that interest one or both of you. You can go volunteer and do something and really put this relationship to the test early and say, what do you believe in? And what are you willing to put first, maybe in front of the two of us? I think it's a great idea.
All right. So how can people find out more? I guess it's Quantum Connections. Is that right? Is that how people connect with you and find out more about hot take dating?
You got it. You can learn all about relationships, both professional and personal, at our website, quantumconnections.com.
And do you have a radio background? Seriously, you got a great voice. You got the best voice of the week on our pod here.
Oh, I appreciate it. I've often been told I have a face for radio, so maybe I should stick to my line.
All right. Great chatting with you today. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jonathan. I think he touched on something that's really important, that it's not just, he said they work with relationships like dating, a plus one, right? But also in work relationships. Because, we all have a love language. We talked about that yesterday. And so that you don't carry that love language just into your marriage. You carry that love language into all your relationships. It's how you're wired.
You know what my love language is, Celeste?
Travel.
Winning on the mystery cam. It totally rocks my world to be able to do it. Anyway,
mystery cam rocks your world. Does your wife know this, Ron?
Come give us your guesses on YouTube right now on the mystery cam. Guess what? Richard Saenz. We're rolling with Richard. Boy, do we have some great questions for him. You can jump into the convo too next.
Welcome back, everyone.
Let's see. We have Mr. Berman, is it? 1976, Massachusetts.
Wow.
Brandon, Brandon is so loyal here in YouTube. He's always chatting with us. He's saying, I think it's more like Georgia. And there's no snow on the ground, so I think I'm going to go a little further to the south with Brandon.
Okay, you're going to go, let's say, going to say Georgia again, Jared of Sonora says.
Okay.
Alabama from Linda
there's
Monter.
Linda out there in the Gila Valley. Thank you, Linda.
It does look a little cold.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Okay. All Quality Labor says Hill Valley, save the clock tower. Isn't that a reference to Back to the Future?
Oh, yes.
That's fantastic.
Well done.
A movie that's 40 years old that we can still talk about, that we know and love. That might be the best YouTube comment in the last 15 minutes.
That's All Quality.
Yeah, it is. Okay, let's see. So, Celeste, you're going with who or what?
I'm going to go Missouri.
Okay, and I am going to stick with Brandon in Georgia.
Okay, here is your Mr. Camera number 2.
Okay.
Georgetown, South Carolina.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, one last look here. South Carolina really is
look at
beautiful.
Outlaw Dynamo. It says Georgetown, South Carolina.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, you should go buy a lottery ticket because you just, unless you're from there, maybe.
Hey, we have a lot of new folks joining us today on YouTube, and we love that. The No Dime, by the way, also guessed South Carolina, and Chris Akey said Tennessee, so all of it pretty close by.
Do you know who the No Dime is? I just learned this today.
Who is it?
The Aviator.
Oh, really? With a new name?
With a new name.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, in Germany, by the way.
Hey, by the way, we are going to talk football and basketball with the man who knows all. Celeste, are you ready to chat with Richard Saenz?
I don't think I could ever be ready. Like, how do you even get ready for this moment?
Right?
Wow.
Buddy, are we rolling with Richard over the next couple of days? What's happening?
Hold on. Can you unmute your situation there? Your phone, iPad.
Situation. I got a situation.
We're rolling with Richard. See, I got the football.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Nice.
We're rolling with Richard today. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a special show from 6:30 to 7 right before the ASU hockey game on Fox 10. So we have a special show, Rolling with Richard, sponsored by Sun City RV again. But the game is on the road. It's in Colorado Springs. They're taking on Colorado College. So we're going to have it in studio. I'm going to bring a grill. I'm going to bring my football.
Oh,
we're going to have
my
a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, how fun! Okay, what are you grilling up? What's going to be the food?
I'm going to buy Chick-fil-A and then put it in the grill. Be like, hey, look what I made.
Oh, Richard, tell me now. Stop me at the nearest 100. How many people see you rolling up in your RV and want to hop in and take a look around?
Oh, almost everybody, and I love it, and I let them all in. The last time we were there, last Friday, we were at Mullen Arena. Some guy walks up in a North Dakota jersey, says, hey, I heard you got wings. I'm like, yeah, you want some? Come on up. He comes into the RV, he goes, can I sit down? I'm like, sure. I get him a plate. We sit down. His wife walks up and says, I'm looking for my husband. He's in there getting wings. You want in? She gets it. Next thing you know, North Dakota fans have taken over the RV, and I had him in my live shot.
Wow, that's amazing. So the women, right, the female basketball team, they won this week. That was huge. I saw the big celebration on the gram.
Yeah, Molly Miller, boy, she just wins, right? She won at Drury as a player, won there as a coach, won at GCU, started 15-0 at ASU. They just beat the U of A. She understands the rivalry, right? You got to beat the U of A. She's so good. I wrote it in my diary. I have a diary, so I wrote it in my diary that Molly Miller wins no matter what. I'm telling you.
Oh my goodness, your diary's the best.
Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we got the Cardinal Stadium here. What's the holdup, Richard, on the on a Cardinal coaching? I'm wondering if they want Clint Kubiak and they got to wait another week for the Seahawks, or what's up? A lot of other teams have already made their decisions.
Yeah, you're right. I think they would like to get Clint Kubiak. The question is, does Clint Kubiak want them? And I think that's going to be part of the, a lot of times these coaches are interviewing the teams, right? And I think it was bad timing for the Cardinals to be looking for a coach at this particular year because there were so many other positions, other teams looking for coaches. And so you're thinking, oh boy, if you're a potential head coach out there, Do you want to go to the Baltimore Ravens, who have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry? Do you want to go to the Raiders, who have the number 1 pick and Fernando Mendoza, who I like to call Heisman Mendoza?
Yeah.
And, Gentry, the running back. So there's a lot of competition out there. I like LaFleur as well, the offensive coordinator with the Rams. I think any one of the offensive coordinators for the NFC West teams, 49ers, Rams, and Seattle would be good. And my favorite, though, is Clint Kubiak, and I've been saying that since day one. So we'll see. I mean, does he want to stay in Seattle after they win the Super Bowl? Well, actually, you guys haven't even asked me who I think is going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
Mind reader, our next question. Go for it.
Well, Celeste, how do you say yes in Spanish?
Sí.
Hawks. That's
Well, the fact that you just said that's going to make my husband and all my kids very, very happy because they're, my hubby. You saw him. We were at the game, ASU game. You met them all. He is from Seattle, and so he's rooting for the Seahawks.
Hey, defense wins championships.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
You're absolutely correct.
So what about a QB for the Cardinals? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I kind of like Jacoby Brissett. I think I wouldn't mind riding with him one more time if you give him a running game and give him a chance to kind of have a training camp, have an off season as the guy, start the season as the guy, not kind of come in mid-season playing catch up. But if you can get a late round quarterback, because they have so many needs, the Cardinals do. I don't know if you want to take one in the first round. They have the number 3, top 5 pick. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because I think they need an edge rusher. There's a kid from Ohio State that can go, to the Cardinals. I think that would help out immediately. So, but Monty Ossenfort, the GM, he likes to trade down and stockpile picks because when you look at draft picks, they're kind of like lottery tickets. The more tickets you have, the more chances you have of hitting. So that's going to be interesting as well.
I think you bring up an interesting point. It's almost like what the coach at Indiana did. What's his name again?
Curt Cignetti.
Thank you.
The $92 million man. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so he didn't bring in like all of these chefs in the kitchen. He brought in these different players that can work together. So maybe if
cooks.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you, Cook. So maybe if we don't have like the star this or star that, but we have all these players that are good at their position, they can work together, right, and get something done.
Yes, absolutely correct. And when you look at Clint Kubiak, like you mentioned, Ron, I think a young coordinator is what the Cardinals have to do and hope it hits. Look at what the Suns did with Jordan Ott. He had never been a head coach before, but he had paid his dues. He was young. Players could relate to him. And, boy, the Phoenix Suns are off to a great start. Look what he did last night. They beat the Pistons, who have the best record in the Eastern Conference. And Dylan the Villain, he's been a pleasant surprise. It came in the trade for the Houston Rockets. They won without Devin Booker. So it's been a good run for the Phoenix Suns. Thank God, right, for the Phoenix Suns. They're giving us something positive to talk about.
Well, and I think they're at least finally a playoff team this year, which is at least that going to make Suns fans happy. I was just thinking, though, Richard, so Celeste brings up Curt Cignetti. You could make an argument that the next biggest turnaround in college football this last season happened in Tucson, Arizona. How did they do that? How did they turn that U of A Wildcat program around to become a 9-win team?
Yeah, well, they stayed healthy. They had some good players, but I think that's all part of it. You look at the Sun Devils. They had a good team too, but they had some injuries and they still ended up winning 8 games. So, it takes health, takes luck, and it takes hitting on a couple recruits. And speaking of the U of A, we got to mention the basketball team there too.
Yeah.
Boy, I haven't seen a U of A basketball team this good in a long, long time, I'm telling you. And that Koa Pete kid from Perry High, well, I don't know what's in the water at Gilbert. You got Brock Purdy, you got Koa Pete. If they got any babies for sale, I'm going to buy one out there in Gilbert because it's going to be a D1 athlete for sure.
Hey, we're going to roll some video here of ASU, a U of A basketball.
Yes.
I know, Celeste, you want to ask him about it.
Well, it's about U of A, actually, as well as we kind of show it. Oh, it's a football. Okay, we're showing the U of A football, but it has to do with the athletic department. So, Richard, here's the thing. I'm a Sun Devil. I love the Sun Devils. Interesting, though, U of A has done something with the football team, Ron, as you just mentioned.
Yeah.
And their new athletic director, her name's Desiree. She came in and I interviewed her in studio about just kind of the turnaround on the morning show and what she's trying to do. This is a part of bringing, I think, people back to the university. They had all those financial issues within the department not too long ago.
Yeah. if you're an athletic director, you have to get creative when it comes to generating income and funds and money, especially with NIL, and then being able to, have to pay for players. It's almost like getting free agents there. And so, you definitely have to think outside the box. It's a whole new ball game. I think that's why you're seeing a lot more sponsorships. You're even seeing, entities that are being created just to generate revenue for universities. So, you got to tip your cap to these new athletic directors. Graham Rossini at ASU, he's done a fantastic job in spearheading that whole thing. And everything that guy touches, he turns to gold.
Richard,
he reminds me a lot of Jerry Colangelo. He was with the Diamondbacks before, and he was kind of the mastermind behind, the Salt River Fields. He was one of those guys that said, "Why are we going to Tucson for spring training when everybody else is playing here and we're the host team? Why should we have the Taj Mahal spring training fields?" And now they do.
Yeah, good point. We only got a couple of minutes left. I've been wanting to ask you this for a month. So college football realignment is only 4 years away, right when the new TV deals come. What are the odds that a U of A or an ASU or a BYU are likely to get into one of the big two and we actually do move to the Super League concept?
Well, I think it's definitely possible, but I don't think it will be one or the other. They're a package deal. I think they have to go together. I think you kind of saw that with the Big 12. They wanted U of A because of their basketball program, but it wasn't going to happen unless they took ASU. And then it turns out ASU becomes the darling in the football world for the Big 12. So, if they continue to have the success that they're having in both of those major sports, I wouldn't see why one of the bigger conferences would say, hey, come on up to the big leagues.
So 30 seconds left here, but we have a question, a couple of them actually in the chat. But CC Beagle says, what about hockey? Are we thinking maybe that's coming back to the Valley, Richard?
1 minute left,
I think
buddy.
so. Absolutely. I think within 5 years, we'll see hockey back in the Valley, professional hockey. Of course, tonight, we got ASU hockey on Fox 10 at 6:30 to 7, and the big show right after that, the big game.
Woohoo!
Well, we need to be a four-sport big league
we
city,
do. What
right?
do what
like
do,
Chicago, like LA.
Yeah.
Yes, right? Like New York, LA,
absolutely.
Chicago.
Yeah, we're a big city.
Good. Bring them back.
on.
We want our hockey back,
They'll
Richard.
be back. They'll be back. Don't worry.
Okay. We love to roll with Richard. Give us that logo. Give us that football one
baby.
last time. There he is, everybody.
Awesome.